General Motors presents your permit to drive. Listen to that great 50s music, everyone, and dance to the disco, to the great 50s music. We're learning about driving today.
I am your permit to drive an automobile.
That is your permit
Your
to drive an
license to
automobile.
use the highway system of the United States.
Yep, your license to use
I am
the
only
highway
a card
system.
in your wallet or purse, yet I unroll before your eyes a magic carpet, the millions of miles of highways and byways that crisscross the nation. I am your
Wow,
round-trip travel
you think
ticket,
very
your
highly of
passport to
yourself,
pleasure.
don't you? Permit to
With
drive.
me, you can motor from the Atlantic to the Pacific,
What if I want to motor to England?
from the Gulf to the Great Lakes.
But what if I
You
want to
can
go
travel
further,
with
like
me
to
as your
Alaska or the
only
North Pole?
identification.
But what if
I am the only commuter ticket you need to drive to and from school or work, day after day, year after year.
Year
I have
after
become
year,
vital to
day
more
after
than 50
day.
million people in this land of ours.
50 million people. Actually, it's more today, but never mind that.
I am their constant companion. I go with them wherever they go. The
And I
farmer
apparently
on his
never
way at
shut
sun.
up.
The bus driver, the truck driver, the ambulance driver, the policeman.
So pretty
The
much
cab
anyone who drives a vehicle
No
I
matter
am
who
with,
they
I
are,
can
no
like
matter
shut
where
up at
they
any
are,
moment,
I
but
am
I
with them.
cannot.
With me
I
in
am
their
quite
possession,
long-winded.
The drivers of our millions of rubber-tired vehicles help keep turning the wheels of our national economy, whether they roll over highway or city street. For in the past 25 years, driving has opened the gate of commerce between city and farm, factory and consumer.
Yes.
With me in their possession, the daily life of millions has taken on new meaning. The family, the individual, has a freedom of movement so new it did not exist in the youth even of our own parents.
Yes,
For the
we all have the
automobile has
freedom
brought
of
with
movement.
it, in less
We
than
can
a
move
lifetime,
about and go
a new
anywhere
way of
we
life,
want,
a new standard
as
of
long
living,
as it's
a
between the
standard of
Pacific,
living matched by
Atlantic,
no
the
other
Gulf, and the
nation
Great Lakes,
in the
according
world.
to this. Because apparently Canada and Mexico do not have roads.
Because of the automobile, new industries have taken their place on our national landscape to add billions to our wealth by providing goods, services, and job opportunities undreamed of only yesterday. Our whole way of living has become geared to the automobile. I am your permit, your license, your permission to drive. I am a privilege and an obligation. Your obligation to drive skillfully, carefully, and legally.
You have to drive legally with RoboCop. Watch this guy. He's driving. No, he's gonna hit a turkey. No, he hits a person. No, everyone's dead. No, no. Okay.
This year, there will again be thousands of innocent victims of those who will not recognize this obligation. I will be among the last papers of tens of thousands who will have no further use for me. And I may be merely a means of identification of almost 1 million whose injuries may be permanent. 1 million accident victims whose numbers contain twice as many 15 to 24-year-old drivers as any other.
Well, I'm past that age group. I
Over
guess
and
I
over, I ask
survived.
myself, why? Is it the supposed thoughtlessness of youth that takes such a toll?
Yes,
Is it
that's why we should
inexperience
not
that
let
leads
youth
to the taking
drive.
of foolish chances?
We should just let
Is it
them
the failure
die
of
in car
adults
crashes.
to teach the young people the right way to drive? Or is it my fault?
It's
Have
your
I
fault.
allowed myself to become taken for granted?
Yep,
I
that's
try
it.
to tell people
That's
when they
all
write
it.
their names across my face that they're signing more than a signature, that they are signing a pledge to be the kind of driver they want others to be. I try to tell people that as a nation of more than 50 million drivers, we owe to each other the courtesy, the fair play each of us expects.
Wow, this card thinks very highly of himself. Apparently
As
now
a
it's
nation,
charging
we
into
set
battle.
great store by sportsmanship. Almost all of us at some time play the game.
I
And no
didn't.
matter what the game may be, it has its rules. Rules of courtesy and fairness and sportsmanship. Rules that determine the pattern of action of all who play. Each game has its code of rules, and each set of rules is known and respected by all who play.
Not
and all
anymore.
who
Now
watch.
we use
We have
steroids
come
and
to demand
drugs.
fair
and
play and sportsmanship
deflate
in all
footballs.
things, great and small.
we don't
It
follow
has become
rules
second nature,
anymore.
for example, for those who play golf to allow others to play through. For the bowler to carefully avoid the almost invisible foul line. For the runner to stay in his lane. The same rules of sportsmanship apply to driving an automobile.
Yes, stay in your lane and hit people.
Unfortunately, there are drivers amongst us who are poor sports. Drivers who can dish it out, but can't take it. They are the reckless, who cause the accidents that maim and kill. They are the offenders, whose invasion of the rights of others may lead to curtailment of their own rights. For remember, I am your permit to drive, not your right to drive. For
But
you
I
are
have many
entitled to
rights,
drive
and one of
only
my
as long
rights
as
is
you
to
abide by the
fly.
rules of driving. The rules of driving.
For those
are
who don't
fundamentally
know,
simple,
that means
based on
fuck
common
you
sense.
all.
Common sense safety for yourself.
Actually,
and
that's
for
signaling a
others.
turn.
When you're walking, for instance, say by yourself, or even with a few other people on a country road, there's room to spare, and walking is no problem. But this milling throng in the heart of a great city can represent the traffic problem of today. When you look down on it, there's not much difference between a jam of people and a jam of automobiles. But when you look closely,
Yes, there
at the
is. We
people,
can run those people
when you
easily
get down
over with
among
the
them,
automobiles.
you'll find there's a vast difference. As members of a group of civilized human beings, each going about his own individual business, there is a smooth surge of motion, a unity of action, and there's respect for the rights of others, a polite avoidance of contact, wholehearted cooperation, and courtesy. So it can be with the milling throng of automobiles across our land. So it can be with you. Staying off the white lines. Waiting for the green lights. Stopping at the stop signs.
Oh dear God, those are too
Slowing
many rules to
down
follow.
in school zones. Observing the traffic signs.
Can't we just hit things?
Thinking while you drive about your driving. Keeping
Well,
your
people
mind
can't do
on your
that
driving
anymore.
and your eye on the road.
I'm not talking about thinking. I'm not talking about driving. I'm talking about thinking.
The thinking driver, the alert driver, takes no chances with the lives of himself and others. The alert driver can avoid accidents. He can slow down, for instance, in time to protect himself and others, in time to avoid the aggravation of minor damage.
Have you
Damage
ever
that
noticed
costs
that this
money
video has taught us
and denies the
absolutely
use
nothing
of the
about
car?
driving so far?
You
It's
pay
just
the
like
cost
one long
of driving
lecture that
mistakes of
still has
others,
like a minute
and they of
18
yours.
left.
in more stringent traffic regulations, in higher insurance rates. Perhaps the poor driver never learned the proper way to drive. You have more opportunity than he. You have the opportunity to learn the right way to drive, the opportunity to avoid the mistakes and habits acquired by others. As a good driver, you will live to enjoy all the fruits of good driving. For I, your permit to drive, and the open sesame to a lifetime of new experience, a lifetime of new beauty. I bring wings to your feet, a freedom of motion you will learn always to cherish. I bring pleasure and responsibility, the responsibility to drive well. I urge you to guard what I stand for I permit you to drive.
Wow, that was one long 10-minute lecture. The end. Produced by General Motors. Now we all learned something. What it was, I don't know. Yes, I recorded this off YouTube.